Today, I am signing a bipartisan package of bills that is reforming Michigan's criminal justice system. We're making it easier for people who have committed certain felonies and misdemeanors to have their record expunged after they have paid their debt to society. And this includes a change allowing a person to set aside one or more marijuana offenses if the offense would not have been a crime if it had been committed after the use of recreational marijuana by adults became legal in our state. This is in response to the referendum the voters approved to legalize marijuana in 2018. During my 2018 campaign for governor, I made expungement of marijuana charges one of my key priorities, and I'm so proud today that we can follow through on that goal. For too long, criminal charges have created barriers to employment, barriers to housing, and others for hundreds of thousands of Michiganders. These bipartisan bills are going to be a game changer. They will ensure a clean slate for hundreds of thousands of people, and they will help us grow our workforce and expand access to education and skills training. When we help people get a good job so they can put a roof over their head, it is good for our state. It is good for our families, our small businesses, and our economy as a whole. It'll bring down the recidivism rate even more. And most importantly, it's the right thing to do. Research shows that people who receive expungements see a 23% increase in their income within a year. That's money that they can spend to put food on the table, to keep themselves and their families warm, to pay their bills, and to make sure they've got clothes for the winter. So, since the beginning of my administration, Lieutenant Governor Garland Gilchrist and I have focused on reforming our criminal justice system. In April of 2019, I created the bipartisan Michigan Task Force on Jail and Pretrial Incarceration. It was chaired by the Lieutenant Governor and Michigan Supreme Court Chief Justice Bridget McCormick. They reviewed the state's jail and court data to expand alternatives to jail, to safely reduce jail admissions and length of stay, and improve the effectiveness of the front end of Michigan's justice system. In May of last year, I signed into law a bipartisan set of bills that ended the practice of law enforcement agencies seizing a person's property before that person has been judged and convicted. And I signed an 18-bill package to raise the age of who is considered a juvenile or considered an adult under criminal justice system. So it went from 17 to 18 years old. And with the passage of that legislation, Michigan joined 46 other states in ensuring the unjust practice of charging and punishing children as adults is no longer the case in Michigan when they make mistakes. So this work is a result of strong bipartisan leadership from the people in this room and many others who have contributed, who are not with us today but have been working so hard. Of course, there still is more work to do. I know everyone here has a deep commitment to ensuring that we continue this work to make Michigan a just place for everyone. I'm proud of the bipartisan coalition that has come together, and we will continue to work together to reach our goals. On the topic of criminal justice reform, and as we get closer to Election Day, I want to make sure that everyone in Michigan knows if you've served your time, you need to know your rights. If you have a criminal record in Michigan, you can vote in our elections. You can make your voice heard. So, I urge you to register to vote, request an absentee ballot, or walk into your clerk's office and fill it out and be done, having made sure your voice counts. If you can vote in person before Election Day, please do, but you can always vote on Election Day, November 3rd. We want to make sure your vote counts too. I'll sign the rest of the bills because I know we're running a little bit long. So happy to open it up for some questions and answers.
Governor, the first question will come from Tim Skubik.
Oh, gosh.
Governor, off topic, could you please clarify the comments that you made over the weekend when you lumped the President of the United States in with the two Republican leaders in the legislature for encouraging anti-government behavior? Could you clarify that and evidence that, please?
So, Tim, I'm really pleased that you're tuning in to this historic moment. These bills are going to make a meaningful difference to so many people in Michigan, and I don't want that to be lost. I'm not quite sure to what you're referring. I can just say that I have said that anyone who has a platform needs to use it. In the midst of the plot that was so dangerous and came to light last week, I think it was important to thank our law enforcement, the FBI, and the Michigan State Police for putting their lives on the line. My family and I are incredibly grateful, and to call on everyone, whether it is the President of the United States or it is leaders at the state level, we all need to be mindful of our actions, and none of us can give any safe harbor to people that are intent on harming and intimidating their fellow Americans.
As a reminder, we would like to take on-topic questions, so the next question will come from Beth LeBlanc with the Detroit News.
Governor, the Michigan Senate last week, it passed tie-barred unemployment protections legislation to a bill that would protect businesses from COVID-19 liability claims. Do you intend to sign those bills into law?
Well, it is my hope that when the House reconvenes tomorrow, they break that tie bar. I think it's really important that we get unemployment protections for the hundreds of thousands of Michiganders whose benefits are in the balance as a result of the Supreme Court decision. These were benefits that I was able to extend, but with the court's decision, they now hang in the balance. And while the legislature has to play an important role, I'm hopeful they'll break that tie bar so I can sign it into law and we can fix this post haste.
The next question will come from Zach Borchow.
Hi, Governor. Thanks for doing this. Sort of a related two-part question. This package was the product of a lot of bipartisan work. There's been a tremendous amount of criminal justice legislation that was done via bipartisan work. Yet, right now, it seems like that type of work is going to be difficult, given a lot of the things that are being said, some of the things that the speaker said over the weekend. You voiced your disappointment with what you feel has been some complicit comments that the speaker and the majority leader have made. How do things move forward given the current environment?
Well, Zach, I appreciate the nature of the question. I think in this hyper-partisan moment nationally, and that sadly always seems to happen as we get closer to an election, but this year it just seems worse than ever. I remain optimistic that we're going to be able to find common ground around some really important actions that we need to take as a state. COVID-19 does not care about a court ruling. COVID-19 does not care about partisanship. COVID-19 remains a very real threat to people all across our state, and the numbers, the trends are concerning. I think it's important that we continue to center our work around the public health, not partisan health, but the public health. And that's why I'm hopeful that the legislature can get these bills on unemployment, these bills giving local governments the ability to meet safely, virtually, bills around water to my desk, because these are critical components and have nothing to do with partisanship. I recently signed into law a budget that was bipartisan supported, and today I'm signing a series of bills that are bipartisan. So I know that we are up to this challenge, and I encourage everyone to keep our eye on the ball of what we can do and need to do right now, still in the midst of this global pandemic, despite all the political conversations that are happening as well.
last question will come from Eric Lloyd.
Hello, Governor. Criminal justice reform was a big thing that you ran on when you were campaigning. This pack of bills, some of the other legislation we've seen over the past 2 years, especially heading into a new legislature soon, what is the next step? What are you looking for to continue this reform that you've been pushing?
Well, I think the Lieutenant Governor and the Attorney General both highlighted additional improvements that we think can be made in the law. I know that Representative LeGrand and Representatives Gay-Dagnogo and Filler gave both, the points of view from bipartisanship that we think maybe there's additional space that we can find common ground on. So I don't know that I've got much to add to what they shared, but I am excited about the potential and hopeful that we can make some of these improvements get to my desk and we can make them law of Michigan.
Thank you all for joining us.
Right.
Thank you, Governor.
Finish signing the bills.